Knows Best.
Hi friends, welcome back to Brenna Knows Best. I'm your host, Brenna. Hi friends, how are you? Holy shit. Today's episode, we're just going to chit chat. I'm going to talk about my birthday, graduation, hosting me and Carter's families. We're just going to do a whole week recap, and I think that's going to be it. So if you don't want to hang out and chit chat and hear stories, then you can go. But that's what we're going to do. We're also going to talk about some products and my book that I read. Okay, but for the most part, I'm just going to sit here and chit chat and like go over every single day and things that happen and how it went because I am exhausted. Hosting, this was me and Carter, both of ours first times. I'm adding the S on all of those words at the wrong place. Hosting, like neither of us have ever really had a home that's a home where we like invite people in. And no, nobody stayed here because it's a 1-bedroom apartment, but Carter's family stayed at a hotel right across the street. So like they would bop over and we'd all just hang out. And my family was staying like 10 minutes away. So they would come here and we'd hang out with me and we'd just sit here. Anyways, we'll get into it. First, I want to talk about the other things and then we'll go through the week. And then I think that'll be it. So I don't know if this will be a shorter episode. I hope you guys enjoy. I actually got some good feedback and you guys really seem to like the catch-ups and the talking about life and those sort of things, not just always dating. So I love that. Although you guys know that I think my life is so boring. I've been trying to keep a notes app and like writing things in here. That way I can talk to you guys about it like as they happen. So I'm going to try and do that. But first, let's do a book update. And oh my gosh, you guys, I loved this book, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Obsessed. And when I posted this on my story, oh my gosh, wait, so LaDonna brought me books. Okay, so if you guys don't know, LaDonna's my grandma. You guys know this. She sent me 2 books like a month or 2 ago. Then I didn't actually get to reading, but they came down for graduation and for my birthday and she brought books and she brought this book out of 4 others. So 5 total. Wait, let me pull up my Instagram story. That way I can go through the books that she brought me. If you don't follow me on Instagram, which I think all of you do for the most part, you would have seen it there. Let me click through these stories so I can tell you which ones she brought me. Oh, I don't have it saved. Okay, let me go to archive. I'm taking you guys along with me on this process. Okay, so she brought A Stolen Life. It's a memoir by J.C. Dugard. Watch Me Disappear by Janelle Brown. Darkest Fear by Harlan Coben. A Gentleman in Moscow by Something Tells. It's cut off, but I think that book was for Carter. And then The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. You guys, I read this book obsessed. Oh, and so when I posted this book specifically on my story, y'all were going crazy. This is definitely a fan favorite, but there were some people that were like, predictable, boring. I loved this. I loved this. And I can't really talk about it without spoiling it. But basically, Evelyn Hugo, she was like a socialite, a star, like the biggest movie star ever in like the 50s, 60s, 70s. She had this whole life, you know, whatever. And they talk about like news articles and she was in all these movies, but she had 7 husbands. And a girl, Monique, is writing a biography on her. So she's like, it's really just a story of this woman's life. Like that is the book. There is a twist at the end, but honestly, even without the twist, like phenomenal book. Like I couldn't stop putting it down. No, Brenna, I didn't want to put it down. I couldn't stop reading. I loved it. It was like so not what I expected at all. And I think there was like a lot of good life lessons also in this. And I just really loved it. So I'm going to have to find some other books by this author. Obsessed. Okay. If you haven't read, I highly recommend. I loved it. And then this morning, you guys, while I was at the gym with Carter, I started, and if you don't know, you guys, I'm sorry if I repeat myself 100 times. I walk on the treadmill typically in the morning when Carter works out. And I read. Well, I do it every single day of my life. So I just sit there, I walk and I read. So I get like 3 miles in. But I started The Club today. This is something I picked up at Target. I'm not sure of the author off the top of my head. It's reminding me though of Lucy Foley, The Paris Apartment, and the guest list. It's like very similar thus far. It's also kind of about socialites, like stars. It's like this super exclusive club, but it's going to be like a murder mystery sort of situation, which I love. I also loved in this book, Evelyn Hugo, The Seven Husbands, that they talk about like the glitz and the glamour and the movie star. Like that stuff is just so fascinating, which even though it's fiction, I love that. Which I want to tell you guys a story at the end of this podcast about when I went to Luke Bryan's house, which if you don't know who Luke Bryan is, he's like a mega famous country music artist. And I want to tell you about that because back in the day, like if you would have told me that I would like meet famous people, like I think I'd be like, oh my gosh. And now after having been in Dallas and running in like some of these like, you know, wealthy with the nanny fam, like with these luxurious like families and people, I now have met like quite a few either super rich people or famous people. Like I'll tell you about Luke Bryan's house and I just find it so interesting. And now I'm like, these people are people, you know? And this book, the Evelyn Hugo book, it's like a very like raw, like what was going on behind the scenes, because even back then, like when there was news articles and things, like that's how people learned about artists. And I feel like with social media now, we have a better inside look and we can understand that tabloids and magazines, like they do whatever to like get your attention and it's not all what it seems to be. So I just loved that. Loved that book. And then, yeah, I started the club this morning. I only got like 30 pages in or something. And then you guys, oh, can we talk about some products? Because firstly, I want to tell you guys that I self-tanned for the first time in my life. I have never used a self-tan. Okay. And I want to discuss the different kinds because I got sent products, and let me pull it up, from this Dolce Glow, I don't know how you say it, by Isabel Alyssa. I think it's at Ulta. So they sent me like 7 or 8 products. So they sent me an exfoliating mitt, an applicator mitt, and you guys, like I literally have never self-tanned. I've never seen somebody self-tan. I've heard girls on social media talk about it and like other people, but I've just never done it because I'm naturally pretty dark in the summer. I'll get dark. And I just never have thought that I needed it. But they sent me this stuff. And then I was thinking that I am a little bit more white than normal. I mean, obviously we're coming out of the winter months. And for Carter's graduation, I was like, it'd be nice to have a little tan. But I was like, should I be trying this for the first time right before this event and our families are coming? So let's get into it. Carter was gone last weekend. Okay. And he came back on Tuesday. So I like deep cleaned the whole apartment, was getting it ready because my family also came in on Tuesday, which we'll touch on all of this later. But anyways, I got sent these products and I was like, I want to try. So what I have in my hands is this self tanner. Oh, wait, this is the Body Glow. Okay, this isn't even it. So this is like a Body Glow. So this, I don't even know what that means. I also got like a self-tanning lotion. So it was in this normal like lotion bottle. Okay, but it was like a dark looking lotion. So you obviously spread it on and I read the directions. Okay, it's like leave on for this many hours and leave on for this. And like the longer you leave it on, the darker you get. They also sent a mousse, which I think is like the normal way to self-tan, right? And that's well, you can use the mitt for anything, but like that's what I've seen on social media and how to like perfect the self-tanning, because I know like you've seen girls' hands when it gets crazy. I've just never used it, so I never really understood like how it happens, why it happens. I also then got like self-tanning drops for the face. They're like these clear drops, but apparently they like tan your face. I also got like a contour stick, I think for your face. And then I'm trying to think. I think that's it. So tanning lotion, tanning mousse, this Body Glow. Yeah, face ones, yada, yada, whatever. So I was like, okay, let's use the lotion because the mousse scared the fuck out of me. I said, I don't think I want to use that for the first time, like right before graduation. What if it doesn't come off? What if I'm a hot mess? So I think it was the night before Carter was coming home. Oh, and I did it like Monday. So graduation wasn't until Friday. So I was like, I just need to like practice and like see what I think. So Monday night I showered. I used like the exfoliating sort of thing, which actually you guys in the shower, sorry, I'm really just jumping into all of the things. I recently bought at Target because I've been seeing on TikTok a lot of people talk about how loofahs are so germy, are so gross, which makes sense. Like they're this wet glob and then they just sit and like collect bacteria. I get it. Okay, but I love loofahs. I've been using them for like so long now. When I was a kid, we just used washcloths and like a bar of soap. So like you would just have the washcloth, you would put the bar of soap in when it was wet, move it around, and then you just use the washcloth. And then every time, like obviously I would put that in the laundry, just tiny little square washcloths. And then once I left the house, I discovered loofahs, and then I started using a loofah and I never thought twice about it. I love loofahs, but I've been recently seeing that they're not the most hygienic. So Carter actually in the shower, he used loofahs, but he also has like, it's from Manscaped, but it's like the silicone thing that you hold with like these little, it's like a brush, but like silicone. Does that make sense? And you like rub it. And I asked him, I'm like, what is that for? And he said, exfoliating, which if you ask Carter what any product is for, he says exfoliation. I said, do you even know what exfoliation is? I'm like, what do you mean? So I'm like, when do you use that? How do you use it? He was like, well, just, I don't even remember anymore. But I was like, do you know you can use that on your whole body? And he was like, yes, but you kind of just have to use a little bit more product. And I was explaining to him, I'm like, I've heard loofahs aren't that hygienic. And he was like, no, I know that, or I've heard that at least. So I went to Target and bought myself this little pink silicone thing that you hold and then you use as like a washcloth, and then you wash it off, and still it stays in there and it's wet. But I think because it's that material, the silicone, it's like better and easier to clean. Anyways, I use this mitt, this exfoliating mitt, which is like kind of rough, like not sandpaper. And I use that to like, they say to like, make sure your skin is smooth. And then I got out and I put on the self-tanning lotion. Okay. First time ever. I said, okay, here we go. And then I was like, I'm just going to sleep like this. And I think people say that the mousse gets on a lot of stuff. Like the lotion was pretty easy. I did use the mitt. I did it all over, not necessarily my stomach and my back as well, because I knew that wasn't going to be photographed. I didn't even do my chest. I just was scared. Okay. If you guys remember your first time, if you've done it, which I think most people have, it's a little bit scary. And especially after I've seen everything on TikTok about how it gets all fucked up in your hands and the whole thing, I was like, this lotion shouldn't be that bad. Well, I wake up the next morning and I didn't get it on anything. I like just stayed naked for a good 20 minutes and then I put on like loose pajamas. And I woke up the next morning, there was a line, which I do think part of this is a natural tan line because I walk outside, but it was like really orange at my ankles, not too bad. And also, who cares? Like if Carter's family, if my family, if they ask, like people self-tan, like I am always in the camp of like, for example, pimples, or like when a bra strap shows, or, stupid shit like that when people are like, oh my gosh, back in the day when people would always be like, your clasp is showing like on your neck. Who gives a fuck? Like these are like such normal things. Like I get it if you're trying to look like the most prim and proper bitch of the land, but like people know that it's self-tan. Like I'm not hiding that. I don't care. So I didn't really think that much of it, but I was like, okay. But it was like hard to tell how tan. I think there was also a line kind of like underneath my arm, but I liked it. I said, okay, first time's a go. And then I never used it again. So by the time Carter's graduation came, it was like pretty much off, I feel. It's hard to really tell, but now that summer's coming, I don't think I'm going to use it until next year, but it's good to have. I did enjoy it. Okay, so I tried that. I wanted to tell you guys because I need you guys to know everything that I do for the first time. And that was my first self-tanning experiment. And then, okay, wait, can we talk about a few more products? Wait, let me grab them. If you're not, oops, sorry, I'm far away from the microphone. I just want to talk about a few of my favorite products. Okay, number one, this YSL, I think it's called Libra, Librea perfume. I actually bought the Black Opium a long time ago, but that is more of like a nighttime perfume, whereas this one is a daytime. I am obsessed with this. Okay, just saying, if you were looking for a perfume, and it'll last me for forever. Oh, this is why I originally started talking about this, or wanted to, was because this summer Friday's lip butter balm I got on the Sephora sale like a year ago or half a year ago. The problem is my lips are not chapped, or my lips are chapped. And I don't know if I like the balm because it's not hydrating my lips, but the problem is me and my lips being dry. So I still am looking for like the perfect hydrating. The nipple cream is good. I don't know why I just get such dry skin out of nowhere. It's like when the seasons change, which you guys know I deal with like eczema. So I think I just have like really sensitive skin when it comes to like dryness. I have eczema, I had it around my eyes, if y'all remember. It's funny because if you go to my TikTok and you look up like my most popular, when I did all of the boy math videos, if you remember that era, I had like the eczema around my eyes. They're so red. But at the time I was like, again, I don't care. Like this is happening. It is what it is. But those are some of my most popular videos. But anyways, who gives a shit? I need to still find a good lip balm. Okay. 2 of my holy grail products, the Paula's Choice BHA liquid exfoliant. However, okay, if you guys don't know, Dr. Dennis Gross sent me products a long time ago, and Carter had asked for the peel pads. Okay, Dr. Dennis Gross has these peel pads that are amazing. Like I think they're exfoliant. They're a 2-step thing. So they come in, you rip one side, you do that, you wait a minute, and then you do the other one. And Carter swears by them, but he would never buy them because it's like over $100 for a pack of these, depending on if you want like a 30 or 60 count, whatever, but they're expensive. Dr. Dennis Gross is just expensive. So we went through those. I'm not going to like ask them for them again. Like that was so nice of them to send them to me in the first place. But accidentally last week, I mentioned to Carter that this Paula's Choice, I think it's similar. Like I think it's similar ingredients and it does the same thing with like pores and all of that. Every single night I walk into our bathroom, it's sitting there, the cap is off, and it's just like sitting in the middle of the vanity. And I'm like, I don't care. Well, you guys, I'm realizing that I'm not really good at sharing. And it's funny because I love Carter so much, but I don't know what the issue is, but when somebody like uses my stuff, a little part of me like gets irked. And I'm being better. I'm like, yes, of course, use it. Like, please use it. If you like it, I have tons of skincare that I've been sent, please. But every time I'm like, could you at least like pretend that you're trying to hide it? Like also put the cap back on, but it's just like sitting there. So every time I'm like, oh, how was the Paula's Choice? And he was like, good. I mean, you're buying the next one though. Hello. Okay. But me and Carter both love that. I don't know why I had to tell you that story, but I did. And then Different Gel. So I typically switch between these on my nighttime routine. Different Gel I buy at Target. You guys, this is like a retinol, I believe. From the research that I've done, it is a retinol that you can buy essentially. Obviously, I think there are more aggressive ones that you can be prescribed, but I just don't want to go to the dermatologist just for that. So love this. Use this like every other night. I've been using the Ultra Repair Cream by First Aid Beauty. This is like a thick moisturizer that I love. I've also been like kind of putting it on my lips. I'm like, does lotion work for lips too? Because they've been so dry. And then you guys, okay, this one's random and I don't even know if I love it. I know that I need to wear SPF. I get it. I know. The dermatologist, the skincare, I know it's good for you. I'm not trying to be anti-SPF. It's just something that I forget. It's not part of my daily habit and I need to make it one. Something about putting that like thick, which not all of it needs to be thick, but just another layer of something on my face, especially when I don't go outside, which I know you should still put it on because of the windows and stuff. I know all of the details, you guys. Okay, don't get mad at me. It's just like, it hasn't been ingrained in me yet enough, but this Naked Sundays, I don't even know where you can get this brand. They sent me some products and this is a clear glow sun stick. So it's almost like not all of you are watching. So at the bottom, it's kind of like a deodorant. You like just flip the bottom and it keeps coming out. It looks like a deodorant stick. It's skinny. It's long and you just rub it all over your face and it's clear. It honestly makes your skin like kind of oily or like that's the feeling. But I like that it's light. I like that it's clear. I've been really trying. you guys, I'm talking like 2 days now, but so far I'm loving it. And the packaging is so cute. It's like this metallic and purple little thing. So like this is easy. I think if I really like this is going to be my ride or die SPF, because I've done the glow screen. I've tried all of them and I just like, I hate the smell. I hate the feeling. This clear, I don't even know. Does it work as well? I hope so. It says SPF 50. I like it. So it's good so far. And it's like easy to reapply. And yeah. Okay. That's all I want to talk about with that. Okay. Products that I'm loving. Amazing. Is there anything else before we get in? I think we can just start talking about the week. Okay. Carter graduated law school, right? Wait, let me have a sip of coffee. I need to like rejuvenate. But, oh my gosh, I'm all over the place. I've been watching like little bits and parts of people's podcasts to just not give ideas, but just to see like what they talk about and like kind of like inspo. And I pulled up the Giggly Squad, and the episode that I saw, or maybe it was a clip that I saw, and Paige, it's Paige and Hannah Berner, Paige DeSorbo, she was talking about how when they go to podcasts, because they're in New York and they go to a studio, she always like tells herself she's going to get ready and put makeup on. But she's like, when I sit down with the pod, like I just want to be my most comfortable self. So she's like, I never put on makeup. And that's how I feel. I was just on live. I was putting on makeup when I just didn't even really want to. I love coming here and sitting and just like chit-chatting. Like I feel my most raw self. It's as if I was with my friends, just chit-chatting, you know, and hanging out. So I love that. But let's chit-chat about this week. Okay, enough blabbing, Brenna. Let's start. Okay, I have in my notes app kind of the operations of things. So last weekend, like I said, Carter was gone, and then I was here cleaning, getting everything ready, grabbing drinks. So I got like Coke and water and Hints and Celsius's and Alani News, and making sure that everybody in the family was taken care of. I called Carter's mom. I was like, okay, you guys, what Celsius's do you like? Because I've gone to Costco with them in California. And she's like, actually, Brenna, we're on Alani. She's like, you don't have to get us anything at all. Because they were only coming for like barely 2 full days, not even 2 full days. But I'm like, no, of course, because they don't drink coffee because of their religion. So I was like, you guys are going to need it. You know, we're going to be bouncing around. There's so much going on. So I got them Alani News, and they were staying across the street. It was Carter's mom, dad, and then brother. And his grandparents, they drink coffee. They're good. And then my family, LaDonna and Gordy drink coffee. Everybody's good. Okay, I had waters. I had Coke for my grandpa if he wanted one, Diet Mountain Dew for my dad. I was just getting everything ready. Right? I was doing the tanning. I was doing all of the things. So Tuesday comes around. My family was in Oklahoma City. My dad was taking them to the museum and Toby Keith's bar. Rest in peace, Toby Keith. And then they drove in Tuesday night. So Carter flew in at like 2. I picked him up, me and Maydog. And then my family was getting in like late. So we weren't going to see them till the next day. So Carter gets home. Oh, and my gifts. Okay, so Carter calls me on like Sunday, and he was like, babe, Amazon, I have a package. It's for your birthday, so do not open it. But we have the package lockers. And if you guys don't live in an apartment or this isn't a thing in your area, Amazon has these package lockers. And it's not just for Amazon products, but that's who is the host of the lockers. So it's this huge metal box, and they have all of these little separate individual boxes or compartments where the door flings open. So you put in your code when you have a package, and then it swings open, you grab it, you shut it, good. Okay, so it keeps the packages safe and secure, and like FedEx, Amazon, they all use it. However, our building, we have one of these huge boxes, and there's constantly boxes just left on the floor because there's not enough. Like people don't come and get them quick enough, or so many people order shit online, obviously, that it's always full. So then these people just like leave the boxes on the ground. Not the best solution in my opinion, but I get it. What are they supposed to do? So Carter was like, hey, it got delivered on Sunday. He's like, it didn't get put in a package locker because we'll get a notification. He was like, can you go downstairs and grab that, but don't open it? And he was like, it's your birthday gift. So I go down there and there was nothing on the floor, but I could see in the leasing office that there was a ton of Amazon packages, but it was locked because it was Sunday. So I go down Monday and I go in there and I'm looking at all of the Amazon packages and I'm not seeing his name. And then I see some others, they aren't Amazon, but I start looking through them. I'm like, oh, well, here is a package for Carter. It's not in an Amazon box. It's in this branded box. So I naturally Google it, which did I know deep down that that was my present? Yeah. But I was also like, maybe he just got another one. Like, I don't know. And the second I pull up the brand that's on the outside, it says Photography Lights. And I had just been telling him how like 2 weeks ago when I was filming, it was dark out and I need to get lights, like professional, like the big lights, just to make sure I always have good lighting, which I'm not using it today because the window is working and I still need to like set it up. But I look it up and I'm like, oh shit. But I'm like, how sweet. Like I'm always blabbing to Carter, you know, and I don't even know if he's like listening. Of course he is, but like how closely, you know, even when he tells me stuff, like if it's something that doesn't really pertain to me, you kind of in one ear out the other, you know, let's be real. So I was like, oh my gosh, but I texted him and I was like, okay, I have the package. I didn't tell him that I knew what it was. So Tuesday rolls around the next day and I pick Carter up and he comes home and I was like, babe, by the way, that package that came, it wasn't in an Amazon box. Like it was in a branded box. And he was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, I do know what it is, or I have an idea. And he was like, that's okay. And I was like, well, you may as well just give me my other gifts. So my birthday was coming up on Thursday and this was Tuesday, but like our families were going to be here. And he's like, come on. Because every time I buy Carter a gift, I give it to him. Every single time. I have no patience. And like, especially because typically my gifts are efficient, not efficient. They are, what's the word I'm looking for when it's like useful? Like useful. Oh my gosh. Practical. They're practical. Thank you for everybody that was probably screaming at me. They're practical gifts. So for example, when Carter graduated, maybe his birthday, I got him new AirPods because his haven't been working for forever and it was going to cost the same to fix them. So I bought him AirPods and I got him a few days in advance and I was like, I just want to give them to you now because we go to the gym every day and he uses his shitty AirPods. So like, I'm just bad at number one, keeping secrets, and number two, just keeping gifts, especially because I'm always excited about them. And I was like giving him a hard time. I was like kind of kidding, you know, I was like, I'm just kidding. You don't have to give me them. And then he looks at me like 2 seconds later. He's like, do you want your gifts? And I was like, well, of course. But I was like, we can wait. And then another minute goes by and he's like, well, I can give them to you. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So we're sitting on the couch and I pull out the box. I put it in the closet. That was the light. So that one I knew of. So I opened it, which I didn't really get into it because everybody was coming. I didn't want to like tear everything up to then just like hide it in the closet again, you know, because I put all my podcasting equipment away. Like everything was nice and clean and wonderful and ready to go. So we just like opened it up. I saw what it was. And I was like, thank you. Okay, right? Wait, you guys, I need to pause this. It's been 30 minutes. I need to just adjust 1 second. You guys won't even know that I have to pause this and come back. Goodbye and hello. Okay, so I opened that up, not fully. And then Carter's like, okay, don't come in the room because he flew back with the gifts from being home. So he went shopping with his mom is what I gathered. So they both did shopping for me together. But he's like, don't come in the room. I'm going to get everything ready because it was like hiding in his suitcase. And that was another thing why I brought it up too. He was like trying to put his clothes away. He's like, do not look in here. And I'm like, babe, it's in 2 days. Like we may as well. So I'm sitting outside in the living room and he's like, okay, close your eyes. And he comes out and he hands me a box and it's an Aritzia box. I said, babe, because here's the thing. He knows that I like Aritzia, but he's never been there. He doesn't really know what I wear from there. So I'm like, how did you go shopping there? And he's like, well, I asked one of the tenants or like the salespeople if they could pull up your account and help me. And I'm like, That is genius. That is literally genius, which some of you might be like, no shit, but I had never thought of that. And he's like, I know what kinds of things you wear, but he was like, I was walking around and it's all kind of the same. It's all like these simple t-shirts and things. I'm like, no, totally. Like for a man, that would be overwhelming. Like he knows what I wear every single day of my life, but that would be hard. So he goes in, he asked them, he got me what I'm wearing right now, which if you're listening, just this white ribbed baby tee, which I love. I have the regular long version in white, tan, and black. And then I also have it in long sleeve. So they pulled up that I had those, obviously. And then you guys, you know, the gray sweatpants that I wear all the time, the little joggers. He got me those, but in this mint green. So it's like a complete outfit. So he got me this top and these. Amazing perfection. I did have to return the top. There was like a stain on it, even though they literally wrapped it and put it in this box. I don't know. He never noticed. Nobody noticed. There was like this little circle. So I went there yesterday to just switch it out. And then he's like, okay, he goes back into the room and then he comes back out with a different box and I open it up. Lululemon, you guys. He got me. Okay, here's the thing. He got me an Align tank, which he knows I have every single color of those in like this bright pink, right? Or like bright pinkish orange situation. Then he got the matching Align tennis skirt, because obviously he knows I love tennis skirts. And then he got the matching same color belt bag, right? So all of this bright neon, which I don't know if I posted this on my Instagram story, but I love, right? He knows my favorite color is pink. I love bright colors, but wearing bright colors and like a whole outfit like that is a little different. Like the bright pink belt bag, I'm like, I have the black one. I am certainly not going to wear this whole outfit together. It's just like too loud and in your face. And with everything else, like if I wanted to wear the bright pink Lululemon bag, like I'd have to be wearing all black. Does it need to match? No, but I would just gravitate towards my black one. So great idea by Carter, but like, and the skirt it was too short. The Align skirt, if I wasn't as tall as I was, it would be perfect. So great. Love the material, but it's just way too short on my butt. Just not acceptable. So yesterday I exchanged this tee and then I took the whole entire outfit back from Carter and I just got a gift card because I was not in the mood to shop then, and I loved, like it was perfect. He's like, I didn't have to ask them, like I know what you wear, and he asked for my sizes before he left, but that was what Cutie Carter got me. So sweet. So I'm going to have to go and spend my gift card. And here's the thing. Then his parents came, which I'm going to just jump forward a little bit. His mom got me an all white tennis skirt from Lululemon and a tank top, which was amazing. But again, I'm just so picky with my style. So I also returned that. So I have like a hefty $366 gift card to Lululemon, which I love. But I do feel bad that I am not keeping it. But they also are both like, we want you to have stuff that you're going to wear, you know? The skirt, again, was super cute, but just like a little bit too short. I need long versions. And the tank I didn't like the seams on it. I'm just picky as fuck. So wonderful thing is I now have a gift card. No, did I keep the outfit? But last night I didn't tell him that I returned everything. Okay. But I put this on last night and I was like, I love this outfit, which I do. And I loved the outfit that he picked. And he also brought up, you guys, we watch Shark Tank. Okay. Shark Tank on Hulu. And new episodes come out every Saturday. And Lori Harvey, she wears all of these like bright pink dresses or like blazers. And I'm always like, I love that. I just love her. I love her outfits. But I wouldn't wear that. But Carter, you know, boys don't really know how that operation works. So he was like, well, you always love Lori's bright pink, which was like why he got me, not why he got it. But like, he's like, you love that on her. So like, I thought for you. And I'm like, totally get where your mind was at. But seeing something on somebody else and appreciating it is different than you yourself wearing it. All of my girls know. But that is what sweet, precious Carter and his mother got me. And we'll keep diving in. Let me pull up my notes app so I keep on track. LaDonna meeting May. Okay, so that was Tuesday night. Then Wednesday we wake up and my family's up. I'm like, okay, when are you guys coming? So they came over at like 9 or 10. They drive over and I go downstairs when I thought they would be getting there, and I'm standing on the corner and I see the North Dakota plates pop up and I'm waving and Maydog is on her leash. LaDonna crying. She opens the window. She's crying. I'm like, oh my God. She's so excited. This woman loves dogs more than she loves anything else on this planet. So I finally tell them where to go. They wrap around. They go in our parking garage and everybody gets out. And my dad and his girlfriend Pam have met May, but my grandparents hadn't. So she's jumping on them. I'm saying hello. I haven't seen them since Thanksgiving. So it's been 6 months. They come upstairs. Carter was about to leave for a haircut. He had like 30 minutes left. So we all sit down. LaDonna sits on the floor and hangs out with May the entire like 5 hours. If you guys saw my Instagram, I posted a couple photos of her and May. She sat there the whole time. She also brought a dog tag, a red heart that says May, and then it has my phone number on the back that she got done. And then she brought in the bag of books that she got me, that she has for me to borrow, which was so great. We hung out all day. That was Wednesday. And then we grabbed dinner. Oh, they went and checked in at 4 to the hotel that they reserved. And then they came back and we grabbed pizza downstairs. And then they went back. And then Thursday, woke up. That was my birthday. Me and Carter went to the gym in the morning. My Aunt Bev called me. My friend Jessica called me, like all before like 8 a.m. Wonderful love. I felt so loved. We go to the gym, I read, and then we get back up here, we both shower. Carter's like, do you want to go grab a quick breakfast? Because his grandparents were getting in, so he was going to be busy with them too during the middle of the day. So we went and got Shug's Bagels. We went over, there's a new location on Oak Lawn. We went, we sat down, we sat outside. It was wonderful. I'm glad I got like a few moments to myself with Carter. And then, we grabbed coffees as well. And then we came back here. My family showed up and I was like, okay, let's go do a tour. Let's go drive around and I'll show you the places that I've lived. Like my grandparents love that. They've never been to Dallas. They don't know the area. City life to them is like the most magnificent thing ever. So we drove all over the place. I showed them all the houses, everywhere that I worked. And then we dropped Carter back off at like 12 or 11:30. He had to go pick up his grandparents. And then me and my family, I finished some of the tour, took them by the stadiums, yada, yada. And then we went to the Reunion Tower. And the Reunion Tower in Dallas is like this big ball. It's like, let's say 50 floors up. I think it's like 550 feet and it's circular and it has a deck. So you can walk around. You pay like $20, $17, something. And then you can go up there and you can see like all of Dallas, the downtown, and then like obviously all directions. And we ended up being there for a couple hours. We grabbed coffees and then we went up there and it was so nice out and we were just pointing out different things. It was super cool. And then that we spent quite a bit of time. It didn't open until 1:30 or something. Carter texted me. He was showing his grandparents the law school and then they were grabbing a quick lunch and then he was taking them to the hotel to check in. So we all get back at a certain time. His grandparents were napping and then my family just dropped me quick. They were going to go back to the hotel. And then all of us went out to eat that night. So we went to Hopdoddy's. We tried a few restaurants before that. However, they were booked. They were full. We didn't really think ahead. I don't know. It's hard with old people because they move so slow we weren't sure like what the timelines were going to be. So we couldn't really give an exact time. Could we have? But we wanted to allot enough time for everybody to like get comfortable and be good, So we ran over to the Rustic. They were having like 2 corporate like private parties happening. Then we went to Mi Cocina. We called prior. They said, yeah, come on in. We get there. They said an hour and a half wait. It was empty. We're like, why did you just tell us on the phone? But there was a Hopdoddy's right across the street. And Carter's grandma, she's like, I love Hopdoddy's. She's like 80 years old. She's precious. And I'm like, perfect. My family will love that because my dad's so picky. Even though I told him like, it's not about you. Okay, you're just going to have to suck it up and eat whatever everybody wants to eat. I'm sorry. And so we go to Hopdoddy's, we do the whole birthday dinner, and then we came back here, all of us, and we had some birthday cake. Carter also, he bought me a birthday cake from Bundt. Nothing Bundt cake. I don't remember what it's called. Delicious, wonderful cake. And then he bought like all of these pink plastic plates and napkins and stuff, this whole kit from Party City, a hat, candles. He's precious. He grew up in a family that like you celebrate the birthday all out. At dinner, everybody has to go around the table and say something they like about the birthday person, and you have to have cake and you have to blow out a candle. I grew up not in that. Nobody really cared if it was your birthday. That's not true, but kind of. Like, I was raised by a single dad. Like, he just didn't really do that much. He barely even got us gifts. To his defense, Barrett was the guy that would take us to like a Vikings game once a year, and that was like our gift for the year. Like, Barrett is like a experiences person, and he would get free Vikings tickets from his boss. So that would like be our thing. Barrett wasn't like a gift giver. So anyways, we just come from different places. So everybody went around the table, said great things. And then we had cake, and then we kicked everybody out. It was like 9. I was like, I need to go to bed. And Carter's graduation was the next day. Oh, and his parents and brother were flying in that night, but it kept getting delayed. They didn't get in until like midnight that night. So Thursday night, the day before grad. So we wake up Friday morning. They asked Carter if he could take them to the car rental place, because by the time they got there the night before, they couldn't get their car rental. And Carter was like, of course. So he drove his parents. So I went to take May out. Carter pulled the car around. I saw his dad, gave him a hug because this is the first time I'm seeing him. The mom was coming. His mom was coming, but I didn't see her. We had to go, and we were already ready. So Carter dropped them at 9, and then he came back. And at 10, I had to take him to the school because they had to be there at 10:30 to like get ready and get seated. So I told my family, I said, I'm dropping Carter off, and then please be at the apartment at 10:45. That way we can go up there, because with traffic and things, like, we want to make sure that everybody gets in and can get seated, and, again, the old people. And then Carter's family, he gave them the directions to like get there and yada, yada. And like, his parents and brother are more with the times. My family, my dad, like, they don't use GPSs on their phone. Like, they do everything based on a paper map. So when we're driving around, like, I have to either explain, like, tell them the directions beforehand so he knows where he's going, or drive them. Whereas like Carter's parents are like with the times, they have iPhones, they can like use GPS. So my family was here waiting for me. So I got back, I ran up, went to the bathroom, took May out, and then I went down there to their vehicle and I said, okay, let's go. So we drive to the campus and we find a parking spot, and then we slowly walk on over. We're there at like 11. It didn't start until noon, but better to get seated and get a good spot. So we found seats and we're all just hanging. We're watching, we're just like vibing. I'm texting Carter's mom. I'm like, okay, we got seats for you guys. We got 5 for you. And there was 5 of us. And at like 11:30, she was like, we went to the wrong place. Of course. Oh, she was like, of course we went to the wrong goddamn place. Maybe she didn't swear. That's me inserting that. She's like, we're on our way, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, no problem. We got seats. So at least like you're good there. Don't stress. She texted me at like 11:45. She's like, okay, Carter's brother is walking in with the grandparents. And I was like, okay, perfect. I'll meet them. That way I can tell them where to go. And then I'll wait for you guys as well. So I go to the front, and as I'm sitting there, the grads are like walking, and I'm like, oh my God, wait, are we going to see Carter? So Carter's like standing right here. Like, they're all coming through. So they must be waiting to like go down onto the stage. And I'm like, hi. And I took a cute like little photo of him standing there in his get up. Oh my gosh, he was so fresh. And then his family's coming in. I'm like, wait, you guys hurry up, which his grandparents are moving so slow. I'm like, Carter's right here. So then they go over and they give him a hug, because they hadn't seen him. I mean, he took his parents to the car rental, but he hadn't seen his family that morning. And they get in, it's like 11:55. So I'm like, come on. So Carter's mom peed. I directed them. I'm like, okay, we're over here. So my family hadn't met his parents and brother yet. So I like get everybody up the stairs and I'm like doing the introductions, and they literally like, the graduation's about to start in 2 minutes. I'm like, you're so lucky you have us. We've been sitting here for an hour, which has been fine. And like my grandparents were all just like hanging out, but we finally get seated, and then graduation starts. And all of the speakers and the proper this and that, I just like hate that stuff so much. I'm like, we get it. Just like start going through. I swear they didn't start the names until like 1:15, and then it took like 45 minutes to get through everybody. They give enough time to say the name, to do the hooding, to take the photo, whatever. It was great. It was wonderful. It was good. So we leave, we get out. Carter's calling me 100 times. He's like, where are you guys? I'm like, it is like a herd of cattle. Like, we're trying to get outside to like take photos and things. Again, I have 10 people that I'm coordinating. Some people have to pee, whatever. So I'm directing his grandparents out. We get out there, we're calling everybody, we take photos, we're outside. Carter's starving, everybody's hungry. So we go to Terry Black's barbecue, which was always the plan. So Terry Black's barbecue is the best barbecue in Dallas, Texas probably, period. And so Carter comes with my family because we had an extra seat, and then we give his family the directions. We meet at Terry Black's, we get a picnic table, we eat, we hang out. They've got some great country music playing. We eat family style, so they just got a ton of meat. Oh, also, you guys, Carter's family is like pretty well to do. And like my birthday dinner, it was a hassle because Carter's grandpa wanted to pay for everything. And my family, like, they're not well to do, but they'll put up a fight and they don't want to like get free shit, you know, like that's never their MO. So we went to Hopdoddy's and you order, you pay, and then you sit down. But Carter was like, my grandpa really wants to pay, so like just get them to get the fuck out of the way. So I'm like, okay, you guys order, you pay at the end. And they're like confused, they don't know. I'm like, go sit down. It was like a whole process. And then Carter's grandpa paid. So thankful, so blessed. And then, oh, you guys, I opened presents that day from my family. LaDonna got me a sweatshirt that said, I'm only talking to my dog today. Loved it. And then my dad sent me money because that's what he does, like via our bank apps. So they gave me cards. Oh, and Pam brought me flowers, which are beautiful. And then Carter's grandpa gave me, I can't even say how much money, but like too much for him when I'm new to the family. I'm just like, my family is they're so wonderful, but like, we're just not those people like money and like extravagant gifts. Whereas like, you know, Carter gave me the Aritzia and the Lululemon, and then his mom gave me a Lululemon set. I'm like, you guys, like, it's just too much. Like, give this money to Carter. Like, he's the one who needs it. He's got the loans coming up. But anyway, so then we go to Terry Black's. We have a great time. Everybody comes back here. We have some more cake. I say goodbye to my family because they're going to leave early Saturday morning. And then I felt bad because I wanted to make sure Carter got time because it was his graduation. So they were like they went back to their hotel, and then Carter's family came up here and we just hung out for the rest of the night. We chatted. Saturday morning, we got breakfast with Carter's family, and then all of their flights were at like 1 p.m. and then they all left. And then that was it. Saturday and Sunday, me and Carter did not leave the house, except we went to Costco to get our groceries back in order. We were so exhausted, just like managing everybody and like driving around and making sure the grandparents okay. It is not for the weak. Oh my gosh. And I just remembered a story. My family, you guys, does not know about my TikTok at all. I once tried to explain it to LaDonna, and like she doesn't even, these people barely know what Facebook is. So like they just don't understand the apps at all and social media as a whole. Like they don't even know what an influencer is, if that makes sense. So one time I tried to explain it to LaDonna and like it wasn't clicking, and I was like, it doesn't really matter. So I just like, they don't really ask, honestly. And my dad and his girlfriend, it's just never gotten brought up. And again, I would like try and explain it, but they don't really know. So like they don't know. Well, me and LaDonna and Pam, on the first day that they got here, we went outside to take out May. We're crossing the street to go to this grass, and a girl is coming up to me. Hi, Rachel. Love you. She's like, Brenna, hi. And I'm like, hi. And typically, you guys, I know a lot of people in Dallas. So like sometimes I recognize people, but when I don't, I immediately obviously assume that they know me from TikTok or online. And she's like, hi, it's Rachel. Like we've DM'd before, which if you know on Instagram, I always DM you guys. I have gotten worse at it now that everything's like so piled up. But anyways, and of course, like I don't recognize faces that well, but once it happened and after I knew, but she was like, hi. And she comes over, I say hello. I don't know if I gave her a hug at first. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm from LA. I was in Dallas for work. Like I'm actually just leaving. She's like, what a small world that I saw you. I'm like, hi, oh my gosh. And I'm like, by the way, and my family, they're just sitting there. LaDonna and Pam are just like staring at her, and like, they have no idea. And I was like, this is my grandma and Pam. And she was so sweet. She was like, hi. She's like, do you know you have like a rising star on your hands or something so precious like that? And of course my family's like, they're like, yeah, like they just think I'm amazing. Oh, sorry. I set a timer because my camera shuts off every 30 minutes. But anyways, they're like, yeah, you know, like they just think that somebody's like speaking kindly of me. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, which it was like totally fine. And then I give her a hug. She had to go, but I'm like, so nice to meet you, whatever. And then I think either she DM'd me or I like found our messages. I was like, oh my God, so great to meet you. Like, sorry, I was so like preoccupied at the time. I was like in Spaceland, but I was dying. So then like my family left and I told Carter later, I was like, oh my gosh, somebody came up to me, and of course they have no fucking clue, but they didn't ask. Like they didn't think anything of it, which is fine. Like I could try and explain it. It's just like they're never gonna understand it, and that's okay. And I've come to terms with that. But that was that. Oh my gosh, wait, okay. So that's that. And then yesterday, so today, this whole week, me and Carter are just kind of figuring out what works for us. He's going to start going to the library to study for like half the day and then coming home. That way I can film, get everything done. We're figuring out the process. Y'all, yesterday I got a DM from a guy, which he's like 17 years old. You guys are going to love this. I need to post it on my story because I think a lot of people would get a crack out of it. A DM on TikTok, right? And it's like got like a fake photo. Well, it's just like an animated photo that says, I love my girlfriend. Okay, I'll post this on my story so you guys can see. And I clicked on it. It's like a real person. It says 17 and then has like an A with a heart, like so high school, like whatever. This guy says, shut the fuck up. I was happy with my girlfriend and she was too until she found you on TikTok and ruined our happy relationship. Because you're unhappy, that doesn't mean you need to make others unhappy. So please get the fuck off TikTok and do something with your stupid life. What? And here's the thing, he's 17, so like he has no idea. But I'm like, if your girlfriend saw my TikTok and broke up with you because of something that I said, I only ever promote girls to get out of relationships that are like unhappy, where they're not treating you right. Also, they're 17 years old, they're in high school. But I just responded back, no, with a heart. And then he actually messaged me again. I didn't save this part. I just noticed it this morning. Wait, let me pull it up so I can tell you what he said after that. Oh my God, I'm dead. This poor guy. I do feel bad. I thought about making or giving him advice actually when I comment back, but he said, yes, because of you after 4 years of happy relationship and you ruined it in a month. Buddy, I didn't ruin a goddamn thing. And also, if you were actually that happy and it was a good relationship and she just broke up with you off of a TikTok video or my videos, I am so sorry. But also, they dated from 13 to 17. Let's be fucking for real. But just so you know, I don't get harassed often, but when I do get a good kick out of it. Shut the fuck up, he said. Honestly, props to him. Going straight to the source. I said, I'll give him my time of day. I'll say, no, sorry. I'm here helping the women of the universe not be with losers. So if you're a loser, just say that. Anywho, I'm not going to be mean to a 17-year-old, but I thought you guys would enjoy that. What else did I have to tell you? I think that's it. I was going to tell you the Luke Bryan story. Should I save that for next week? I'm feeling like it's already been 50 minutes. And I don't know if I have the energy to like really give you the full story. Okay, I'll just give it to you really quick. It's really nothing crazy, but basically I was invited. Okay, not me. My friend was invited because they are very well connected to a charity event at Luke Bryan's house in Franklin, Tennessee. And they have an estate, you guys. There's like a creek and okay, so mind you, I get asked to go with them and their family to this event. And it's like a super small event raising money for the Brett Boyer Foundation, which I believe is Luke Bryan's wife's sister, or maybe his sister. Now I'm not exactly sure, but it is, oh my gosh, I need to do more research. I shouldn't even be talking about this. It's a great cause. So they had a child that passed with a heart condition, I believe. Don't quote me on that. And so now they raise all of this money and give it to them to fund research and all of this wonderful stuff. They have Brett's barn, which is like this barn on Luke Bryan's like estate with all of these animals because it's for kids, and they like do so much, right? And they also had some, let me just Google, that way I know what I'm talking about because I don't want to say something incorrect. The Brett Boyer Foundation. So this is who put it on, and it's run by them. Okay, our mission is to raise awareness for congenital heart disease and fund research to advance treatment options. It's also our mission to spread the love and awareness that Brett filled us with for the wonderful, capable people living with Down syndrome. Okay, so we go to this event at Luke Bryan's house, and it is like Tim Tebow, and there is who also performed, Chase Rice. I also think that Jason Aldean was there. And then there was also people like Jimmy John, the founder of Jimmy John. There's a man, Jimmy John. He is incredible. He's hilarious. He actually, I remember during the live auction, bought this guitar for like $200,000 and then gave it back. So really, he was just like giving $200,000. They had so much stuff happening. There was like a putt-putt for purses. So you would pay $100 to do one swing at their little golf course. And if you made it, Nordstrom had donated all of these purses. So obviously people were, it's just like donations. It's just like a fun event. There was like food trucks and alcohol and golf carts taking you around. And there was fly fishing. And they also had guns where you could shoot clay pigeons. And it was the craziest thing. Oh, wait, can I tell you guys a story? I think I've told this on TikTok once. So I'm in the bathroom, right? The bathrooms were like a trailer essentially. So you like walk up the stairs. They had just like, it was like a portable bathroom, but like a stall. Like it was like a trailer house sort of situation, but it was bathrooms. And I go in there, I go in the stall and I get out and there's this woman. And like I said, it was super small. And so you're seeing the same faces like as you're walking around, and it's either like wealthy people, famous people, or people who, you know, have some sort of part in the foundation itself. Like the people that I went had donated a ton of money, but they knew Luke Bryan prior. They actually bought Alan Jackson's old home, so they have some connections through there. But anyways, I'm in the bathroom and there's this woman with curly hair. She's like an older woman, not super old. And I'd been seeing her. So we're like washing our hands at the same time. And she's like, oh my gosh, like this is just such a fun event. Like this is so great. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love, yes, like this is amazing. It's my first time, yada, yada. And she's like, yeah, my son and Luke have been friends for forever. And we just like love this and whatever. And I'm like, amazing, love that. Like didn't think anything of it. She leaves. Later, right? Luke performed, Chase Rice performed, Tim Tebow auctioned off his Heisman Trophy, obviously for donations, whatever. I think it went for like $500,000. I don't remember. But Luke is the one speaking, and like I'm right there on the front stage because again, it's like not that many people. Like I'm right there. I should post a photo. I'll post a photo on tomorrow's dump of Luke. He was either talking or singing. I have a few photos. I'll go back and find them. But he was like, oh my gosh, you know, some of the live auction items that they were doing was like at Augusta, let's say. I don't remember exactly what golf course is, but they had the inn. So it was like 2 tickets to golf at the Masters location of the Augusta golf course, which is like private. Nobody can get in there. And to go golfing. And some of them, he was like, I would go golfing. So he was like, actually, you know, Justin Timberlake wanted to give this item. He couldn't be here, but his mom is here to help me like auction off this. And he's like, Lynn, come up. Lynn is the bitch that was in the bathroom with me, the curly haired woman. I was speaking to Justin Timberlake's mom. I said, no way. She was so sweet. She was so great. So she goes up there. They auctioned off something. I think the auction item was like to go golfing with Luke and with Justin at like some sort of prestigious golf course. I was like, no way. Which there were, I'm telling you, a ton of people there. And once you meet famous people and like you're around them, they really are just people. Like you don't get a starstruck, which who would be starstruck by Justin Timberlake's mom? But I think it's so funny that I had no idea. And you're just like around, like they're just normal ass people, obviously. And yeah, that's my Luke Bryan story. And then they did like, it was an all day event. We got there at noon. We did like the fly fishing and the shooting and the putt-putt and just like walking around and being with the animals. And there was so much auction stuff happening. And they had the IVs going on because there was an event that we went to the night before at Luke Bryan's bar downtown. That was like a kickoff event. So they, you know, obviously reserved all the space at the rooftop. So like Luke and what is his wife's name? She's hilarious. She is hilarious. I'm forgetting her name now, but they were there walking around and like all of the people that were at the event were at this Friday night kickoff. They did auction items there as well. And like some people performed. So everybody was like getting rowdy the night before. So when we got there at noon the next day, they had the liquid IV or like not liquid IV, the literal IVs to like pump you with water and electrolytes and that sort of thing. Like they had everything. It was amazing. But then like the performance didn't start till like 8-9 p.m. So it was an all day event. It was like one of the best days ever. It was so much fun. And Luke performed, Chase Rice performed, some other people performed that I'm not remembering correctly. And yeah, that was my little moment with the Rich and Famous, which I loved. This was back in like 2021, I think. Yeah, 2021, but I loved it. It was so fun. That I'm telling you the story because these books, when they talk about like the glitz and the glam and the behind the scenes, they like in the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, she kind of talks about like the reality of like what's happening. Like these are people living their lives, like getting married, having kids, like dealing with their own interpersonal issues. But we view like famous people as like these entities, like they're not real people and they couldn't be more real. It's like so hard. Like when you think about Taylor Swift, for example, like she is a human being just like you and me, but it's hard to like really think of her as just a human being, but she is, you know, obviously her problems in her life are very different, but like she also goes through things. She's like a normal person. And I think we forget that. And I don't know if I'm trying to teach a life lesson right now, but that's all I have to say on that. I just wanted to give you guys stories as I do, give you a peek into my life. I think that's all I have to say. I'm sorry if this was all over the place. I hope you enjoyed like recapping the week. And then next week, send me a DM what topics you want. I'll ask you guys and we'll be back on track. We'll get to it. I'll keep you posted. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Okay. Next week will be more organized. We'll be back on topic. We'll get the shit rolling. But I just wanted to sit down and like talk to you about everything that happened because it was such a wonderful, eventful, unforgettable week. Like it's funny when these moments happen while you're in it, it's just happening, but we're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, when you graduated law school, like this was this moment. And it was so great. Everything went so wonderful. And I'm so proud of Carter, and he worked so hard and he was cum laude and he crushed it, and he's going to have a wonderful career and he's going to pass the bar. And I can't wait for what our future holds. And our family's meeting was amazing. Everybody loved each other. Everybody's like so nice and so warm, like both parties. So everybody enjoyed each other. They, you know, I think about it like in our lifetime, our families probably won't come together that often, just being in completely, all of us being in different places. So it was so nice for them to meet, I guess. Like, not that it was necessary, but just have an idea. And it was just such like a nice, loving, wonderful birthday and graduation and fun-filled week. But it is also nice to be back in the routine and just me and Carter getting back into just like going to the gym, studying, me doing the content. Like I just want my normal, steady little bubble of our life. We don't ever leave the house. I love that. But it was wonderful. And thank you guys for being here. And thank you for letting me share. And I will see you guys next week. Okay. Bye, guys.